June 21st, 217 BC. An entire Roman army walked into a fog and never walked out. 15,000 dead. No retreat, no surrender. Just silence over a lake. This is the verdict on the man who led them there and the ghost who was waiting. Rome was already wounded. At the river Trebia, Hannibal had shattered a Roman army in winter cold. Men froze. Men drowned. Men were surrounded. Rome called it misfortune. The people called it shame. 2 new consuls were appointed. One of them, Gaius Flaminius, ambitious, popular, impatient. Rome believed 2 armies were enough to contain Hannibal. It was wrong. Hannibal did not attack. He bypassed them, burned farms, destroyed harvests, left smoke rising behind him. He wasn't seeking battle. He was summoning it. Flaminius saw the smoke. He heard the anger. He felt the eyes of Rome on his back. He needed victory, not delay, not caution, victory. So he pursued, without waiting, without scouts far ahead, without understanding the land he was entering. Was it courage? Or was it hunger for glory? We will decide. Hannibal reached the northern edge of Lake Trasimene. He stopped, and he studied it. A narrow road pressed between water and rising hills. No room to maneuver, no room to form ranks. Just a corridor. A trap already built by nature. He placed his heavy African infantry at the valley's far end, hidden, waiting. He spread Gauls and Iberians across the wooded slopes, invisible above the road. Cavalry positioned behind the entrance, ready to close the door. Nothing on the shoreline betrayed him. Nothing warned the Romans. Everything was prepared. The historian Polybius would later describe this arrangement in careful detail. He spoke to men close to the war. He examined records. He did not exaggerate. He did not need to, because this was precision. All Hannibal required now was the fog. Morning. Mist rolled off the lake in thick layers, cold, heavy, unmoving. The Roman column began to march, shields on their backs, spears upright, armor shifting with each step. They were not in battle formation. They were traveling, unaware. They could not see far ahead, not the hills, not the ridges, not the men waiting above them. Only fog. Boots grinding gravel, water touching the shore. No birds, no wind. Too quiet. The vanguard entered first, then the center, then the rear. And when the last Roman unit cleared the narrow entrance, Hannibal closed his fist. He gave the signal. The hills erupted. War cries split the mist. Gauls charged downhill with fury. Iberians followed in tight formation. Missiles fell into the packed Roman column. Men turned in confusion. They could not see the enemy. They could not form lines. They could not understand where the attack began or ended. To their right, the lake. To their left, descending blades. Ahead, blocked. Behind, sealed. This was not chaos. It was design. Not a battle. An execution. Some Romans fought in isolated knots. Others were crushed toward the water. Armor dragged bodies beneath the surface. The fog absorbed their screams. Flaminius rode into the violence. He called for order, for formation, for resistance. He stayed. He fought. He did not abandon his men. A Gaul named Ducarius saw him. Years earlier, Flaminius had defeated Gallic tribes in northern Italy. Ducarius remembered. This was not chance. It was revenge. According to Livy, Flaminius resisted to the end. It did not matter. Ducarius cut him down. The consul fell into the mud, and Rome lost its voice in the valley. 6,000 Romans at the front broke through. They forced their way past the blockade. They climbed toward higher ground, breathing hard, alive, for the moment. By midday, Hannibal's cavalry surrounded them. No supplies, no path, no hope. They surrendered. 3 hours, that is all it took. 15,000 Romans dead, 10,000 captured. Hannibal lost far fewer, mostly Gauls. The lake returned to silence. When news reached Rome, it did not arrive as numbers. It arrived as fear. Citizens whispered of invasion. Priests searched for omens. The Senate did something extraordinary. They appointed a dictator, Quintus Fabius Maximus. His strategy would reject pride, avoid Hannibal, refuse open battle, starve him, shadow him, delay him. Rome would learn patience, but only because impatience had been punished. Flaminius was not a coward. He died with his army. But courage without caution is not heroism. It is liability. He chased an enemy he did not understand. He entered ground he had not studied. He trusted urgency over intelligence. Hannibal did not defeat him with strength alone. He defeated him with insight. He knew Rome would come. He knew pride would lead the march. He knew exactly where to wait. The verdict on Lake Trasimene? It was never a battle. It was a lesson, written in fog, delivered in blood. And Rome would meet him again, at Cannae, where the lesson would grow even darker. But that is another verdict. History didn't stop at Lake Trasimene. In 1993, 6 brutal minutes in Mogadishu forced America to rewrite how it fights wars. See how it unfolded in the video on your screen. If you stayed until the end, thank you. Not just for watching, but for remembering. The decisions, the miscalculations, the cost. This channel exists to tell these stories. Quietly, without spectacle, without exaggeration, one verdict at a time. If you would like to stand here for the next one, subscribe to Whispered Verdicts.